it was over, God had other plans. I thought it was over, God had other plans. I thought it was over, God had other plans. Took my life, laid it down, placed it in his hands. I'm free.
I love that jam.
Yeah. Welcome back. Episode number 2. We made it. We're here. Thank you for watching again.
Yes.
Thank you for being at our live
Thank you.
podcast that we are recording for you guys. My name is Mike Fletes. This is my beautiful wife here, Camille Fletes. Say hello.
Hello.
And guess what? Good news. She has her mic. She's ready.
I am ready this time.
Yep. Thank you guys too. We received a bunch of messages, a lot of comments, a lot of just positive acknowledgement, and we appreciate you guys. That means a lot to us. Your support and the likes, the views. For us, we were shocked. You know, we didn't really expect anything except for my mom watching and your mom watching. But God is great.
Yes.
And be sure, we want you guys to like this video, please, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification button as well, because we want you to know first as soon as we put this up live and it's ready to be viewed. So this time, this episode, this topic is going to be about what?
Dating and marriage.
What's the way you normally say it?
Marriage.
Oh my gosh, I hear that way too much.
Because
Okay.
if you know, you know.
Okay.
It's a movie.
So let's jump into our story. This is going to be a great, fun topic to discuss. So our story. So we've been together for 16 years, married, but known each other for 20.
We've been together for 20 years and we've been married for 16. I think
Isn't that what I said?
most guys need their wife's help for that. I don't know why. It's so easy.
Mm-mm. Let's just get something clear.
You're not the only
Men
one.
are not good at dates, like with like timelines and stuff
Why
like
not?
that.
Why not? I
Because
don't get it.
we focus on other things like
what?
working hard and our families and providing
And women don't
being
do that?
and being men. We focus on being men, not dates, not calendars, not all that stuff. God wired you women differently than we did.
I think that's a cop out.
We're hunters. We go out there, we hunt. We work with our hands. All right. So our story, let's just jump into it.
Please.
In 2003, straight out of
Compton.
high school. I was going to say
Oh.
Compton. Straight out of high school, I'm working at Verizon Wireless and doing an amazing job. I was in sales.
Are you patting your back right now?
Yeah, I am, because nobody does it for me. So I'm number one salesman in the retail store in Simi Valley. And one day, as I'm behind the counter helping a customer, I see this dynamite gal walk in. And she happens to be this one. So I look at her and I'm like, whoa, she's hot. But of course, I've got game. So I'm not just going to like make it obvious.
Wow.
So she walks past the counter into the back room, and I'm like, oh, she must be like stopping by here. She knows somebody. She's an employee, obviously, because she has access to the back. And then from that point on, my eyes were just locked on her 100%. And the rest is history. Like from that moment, it was over. She was going to be mine. And now she is mine.
Yes. That's it in a very tiny nutshell, because there's so much more, but
Lot more details.
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
So basically he was 19, I was 22, and we started dating. I had never dated anybody younger than me in my whole life. I had always dated either someone my age
I told you I
or
got
someone
game.
older.
I got game.
So fast forward, Mike was completely different. He was very mature for his age, and he just really held himself with a lot of class, and you can tell he had a lot of values. So obviously I was attracted to that. And so we started dating, and things kind of moved pretty quickly. In fact, I think we just kind of like how would you explain it? Because we started dating and we just were so compatible.
Can I just mention that I stole you from your boyfriend, because she had a boyfriend at that time, and that didn't stop me. Yeah.
Really?
We have to let everybody know the details. Aren't the details important? Yes. You want to know the details? They're saying yes. So, so here's what happened after that. So,
Wow.
like her and I, this is the thing. Like, this is one of the main reasons I love her. We're so compatible for the most part, and she's like the female version of me, and it's like we're always in sync. Like she was mature for her age, I was mature for my age. She was independent, I was independent. She was a hard worker, I was a hard worker. She's an honest person. I'm a so-so at times. No, I'm just kidding. I'm honest. And we just hit it off. And like we were hitting things like one after another, like dating, getting to know each other, relationship, and then where do we move on after that? After like Verizon.
So we were dating for probably about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided, hey, let's buy a house. It was probably my idea. It was totally my idea.
I'll give you credit. I didn't even know.
It was my idea.
I was living with my mom and dad at that time.
Yes.
I was living in Granada Hills, where my Granada Hills people at, San Fernando Valley. So I was living there up until what age? 19, huh?
So you were 19 and we bought the house when you were 20.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, she was more like forward thinking and more advanced and like a go-getter. She's like, let's go buy a house. And I'm like, okay. Like and honestly, we're being real. So I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
I wanted to move in with her to like, get to know her, have more like alone time. I didn't just want to like bring her in. And then my mom's like, hey, how's it going? And, like we wanted like our own privacy, our own like time together. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's get our own house. Like I didn't have any clue as far as how it was to be a homeowner back then. I was only 19 and they didn't teach this stuff in school. I learned it from her. So we bought a house, brand new construction in Simi Valley. It was a townhome. And we did anything we could do at that time. And we purchased it.
We hustled.
We did. And we moved in together and we furnished it together. Looking back at it, it was kind of funny, like the furnishings and everything we had.
Well, the first one, because the second one, we bought a model home and it was all furnished.
Yeah.
But the first one, yes, we were like little by little. I mean.
So when we started dating, like this, just to give you guys that may be single, a little bit of advice. So I want to thank my mom and dad because I learned a lot from them. And my mother, she raised me on just being a gentleman, values. I learned that from my father too. My father was a hardworking man, super, super gentleman, class. And we would go on dates and, I just always wanted to make sure that I was doing things like gentleman qualities, like opening the door for her, paying the bill. Cause that's what men should do, especially on like a first date. Like that's a no-brainer. Like that's just things that we do as guys. And, holding her hand and putting my arm around her, making the first move. And
wait, what happened when you made the first move?
Oh my gosh.
The very first time.
This podcast would almost not exist because I've never been rejected in my life. Ever.
Take notes, ladies.
Making the first move. So we come back from a date and we happen to be parked outside of our work, Verizon Wireless in Simi. It was already closed at that time. It was like after hours. So I'm taking her to her car and we're standing outside and I'm like, hey, I had a great time. And we're kind of just small talk. And then I go in for the kiss, like on the lips. And she stops me and she's like, or like looks like kind of like, didn't you turn your face to where I couldn't give you a kiss? And I'm like, what's wrong?
No, you asked me.
Did I ask you, can I kiss you?
I think you asked me after you tried because I backed up and then you said, can I kiss you?
Wow. And then you said
and
no.
And I said, why?
Oh, you did?
Yes. And you said, because I'm curious.
Oh my gosh.
And I said,
right.
Curiosity killed the cat.
And I said, you're about to kill this relationship because I'm gone. I was not going to call her. I was mad. In my head, I'm like, I'm never calling you again. With this,
Were you really?
With this stupid line, curiosity killed the cat. Seriously, I told you before, I wasn't going to call you. That was the last date. And then you kind of knew I was mad. I remember. I think like the next day or something, you were like, what happened? You're acting weird. I'm like, what happened? Yeah. I don't get rejected. That's what happened.
Well, that was the first time.
Yeah. So,
And we're married now. So there you go. All right. Anyways, getting back to the house and your parents.
yeah. So, gentleman qualities, you
Mm.
know, that's something that she really, really liked. And she likes to this day. Like,
Mhm.
I still open the door for you.
He does.
I go out and hold her hand and put my arm around her and I pay the bill and I'm protecting her as we go. It's like, these are things that I see guys these days and I'm like, man, get yourself like ahead of the game. Like, especially because men are very scarce these days, like gentlemen,
Gentlemen.
you know?
Yes.
So be presentable. First date is like important.
It
First
really
impression
is.
too. Like
Mhm.
go out and maybe buy an outfit. If you can't afford to buy an outfit, like iron your clothes and make sure there's no wrinkles. And again, first impression is key.
Mhm.
Buy some nice cologne or borrow it from your dad or your brother and spray it on you. Make sure you smell good. Or deodorant. Please don't ever have BO on a date. And make sure just go in it with your thought, knowing that you're going to pay for at least the first time. Now, you got to be careful because there's some girls out there that are going to want to take advantage. And they're going to be like, oh, I'm just going to hang out with them and date him just so he can pay all the time. Like your radar's got to go off. And you got to be like,
Mhm.
hey, I'm smarter than this. I'm picking up, this chick, she's taking advantage of me.
Mhm.
So, but the first time you want to be a gentleman, grab the bill. Don't let her like, oh, what did I order? Oh, this is mine. This is mine. Let's pay half. Like, dude,
No,
Don't
that's
be-
a big no.
don't be, yeah. Don't be,
Yeah,
don't be a punk.
if you can't afford to do like pay for the whole thing, just postpone it until you
Postpone
get paid.
postpone it, or do something romantic and like take her to the park.
Yes, exactly. It
and
doesn't have to be expensive.
You don't have to spend any money.
No.
Go get a Lunchables at
I-
Vons and put it out on a platter and be like, I got you a charcuterie board.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, because that's more thoughtful. It really is thoughtful. It's the
I like Lunchables.
yeah. No.
I used to.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore. But
No.
so basically, our story is, we've been together for a long time, 20 years, married 16. We did everything backwards. We really did.
Mhm. Yeah, we did.
We bought a house. We had a baby
Without being married.
without being married. We had a baby, and then we
Without
got
being
married.
and then we got married. Yeah.
And the reason why we took so long getting married is because Mike dragged his feet. He had cold feet, and he was scared to get married.
You're blaming me.
I was
This is
ready to go. I was ready to go. Like, let's do this. I already know you're the man for me. I love you.
Wow.
And I want to be with you forever. And he was like, I'm not sure. I don't know. Don't pressure me. Oh my goodness. I know you ladies can relate to this. I
Hey.
really know that
Hey.
you guys can
I
relate to
was
this.
young.
And shout
straight
out to
of
the
high school.
girls that have waited and
It's
are
worth it.
engaged now. Because I know
It's
a
worth
few and
It's worth it. Look at
yes.
look
but
at me.
but I don't understand why guys are so like slow at that. Why?
Because we're kind of scared.
Scared of what?
Look,
we had a baby, we had a house, and you were scared to like
Well,
commit?
I just got out of high school. Like I wanted to make sure. I was dating girls in like middle school and high school, but I'm like, I don't like this. You want to get married already? Like I'm gonna be officially off the market.
Oh
like-
my goodness.
Like there's no return policy on me anymore. Once I'm off, I'm off. So that's why I'm like, all right, this is forever.
I'm trying not to make the faces that I want to make right now. But
Yeah. So hey, I'm just being
anyways.
honest. But
Okay. So
But-
you're scared of being off the market. Okay.
no, that's kind of the truth. But a little bit
What's
of like
the truth?
the
Tell
other-
me the truth.
the other truth is like you get scared. You're like, okay, this is it. Like I obviously don't want to get into a situation or married and then get divorced.
Right.
Like for me, like it's not an option.
Divorce is not an option. And it was
No.
not an option for me either.
So that's why it took so long. I'm like, look, I want to make sure, even though we had done everything before,
Exactly. So it made no sense to me why you were so like dragging
again,
your
it,
feet.
it was like new, it was like a new territory for me. Like I wasn't sure. So, but it all worked out on God's timing.
This
so-
whole relationship has worked out on God's timing.
Yeah, it
Let's
has.
just be real
Yeah.
because will tell you that this was honestly all designed by God, because there's no other way that it could have happened and that we could be together the way that we are now if God's hand wasn't upon it. Even though
No.
we were not living how God wanted us to live, He was merciful to us,
And had a lot of grace with
He
us.
had grace with us. He
Mhm.
forgave us, and He used He used what was meant for our harm for His good.
Yeah. Amen.
So, with that being said, let's move on. Let's move on to dating. So, we kind of gave our story, we gave a little bit of what we did. And if we can go back to doing it a different way and give you guys advice
That's good.
and some wisdom,
Mhm.
how would, what would we say? So, I'm going to go ahead and hand it to you, because I want you to talk to the guys that are looking to date right now. And guys are different than girls. Girls, I think, for the most part, have already an idea in their head
Mhm.
of what they want in a man and what they want for a husband, where guys maybe have an idea, but I think that guys don't really think that far. Even you said, like, marriage wasn't really, it took you a long time, right? So
Yeah.
let's talk about, like, the guys, kind of like what's going through their head versus girls. So I'll let you go first.
I just see so many things these days with guys, and I'm like, man, like things have changed, and unfortunately for the worse. The dating scene is very sketchy. I'm seeing a lot of people that are having a hard time with it. So the advice I'm going to give to guys is going to be to just be that needle in the haystack, because if you can be that kind of man in today's world, like you'll have no problem dating. You'll have no problem talking to different girls. So when I was younger, I was very, very shy. Like I had a very hard time going up to girls because I just didn't like rejection. I was fearful, I was scared. But now, like, I talk to anybody just to have a conversation, just to say hello or whatever. I kind of grew out of my shyness. But I would give guys that advice is like, don't be scared. Like, what's the worst that can happen? She's gonna say no, or maybe like just look the other way or not want to talk. Then you move on. But you got to go up. You got to have the courage. Go up to her. Talk. If you think she's pretty or you think that she's a good person inside, and you want to get to know her, simply just approach her. And say something like, "Hey, my name is, so and so. I saw you from over there. I think you're beautiful. I think you're very pretty. And I just wanted to come over and introduce myself and say hello." That's it. You don't got to be weird. You don't got to be awkward. You don't got to stutter. You don't got to, none of that. It's just, you're just talking to another human being, who you want to get to know. So that's like a first step. If you want to take it a little further, maybe if you're like at a coffee shop or something, just say, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" Something like that. Do like these nice gestures, things that people usually don't do anymore. And then make eye contact. Like it's critical when you have a conversation, like put the phone down and put it on silent so it's not annoying when you're talking to somebody, especially on a first date.
Yes.
Like you're making eye contact, you're all in with this person, really devote the time and give, respectfully the attention that the other person deserves. Because if not, it's going to be a turnoff. Like if you're checking social media or you're texting somebody else, like I would be mad, So
I agree.
right?
100%.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to what you said. You would go up to a girl and say, "I think you're beautiful. I want to get to know you." Would you really say that?
That's what I would tell myself back then. Like I would do that.
No, you do that back then. How do you think girls would take that nowadays?
It all depends. I mean, it's a case by case scenario. Like some girls might be turned off by it and be like, "Whoa, it's too much." Or some girls might be like, "Oh, thank you for the compliment." Because people like compliments,
True.
especially girls.
True.
So,
All right.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What else?
All right. So now let's get into dating, like someone that wants to settle down already, right? They're just like, they're in their 20s and they're ready to settle down. Where would you recommend meeting somebody?
Ooh, that's a good question. Dang, she came prepared.
I did.
Whoa. Okay, this is gonna be honestly from my heart. where would I recommend meeting people? Gosh, now that we are involved where we're involved at in our community, I would meet a girl at church. I'm not kidding. Like, oh man, like there's a lot of like, people out there that aren't like just on that level in many ways. And she has the foundation that I am blessed for her to have. Like if she didn't have it, we wouldn't probably be lasting this long.
Right.
So I would recommend and give you the advice of meeting girls in a place like that, because I'm seeing a lot of people that are meeting on these dating apps, which some of them work, some of them are fine, but you can meet like a lot of creeps or creepy people. And then like going out to a bar, going out to a club, going out to parties, like you're just kind of picking up or attracting not really the best quality person. So hands down, I would say church. What about you?
That's a good one. We do have friends who have met on these dating apps that have actually gotten married and have great relationships. They have kids. So, but I think it's very rare to find that. And I think nowadays it's even more sketch.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, I mean, I think that's the best place. But what if they don't go to church?
Then find one. I'm being honest. Just because the quality look, people are very nice. Like not every church. Like there's some churches I know that are not the best, and they got standoffish people and all judgmental people. I get it. I know the stereotype, but there are places where you can really like go in there and you go like, man, that girl's beautiful. Like let me get to know her, and where her roots are. You know that she's following God's way, and you know that she's trying to be a good person. She's working on herself. So that's
true.
Like you don't want to like meet a girl and then you find out she's talking or dating to like 5 other dudes and you think that she's all about you. Like don't let her play you like that.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like learn from like my mistakes and probably yours from dating people back in the day that hurt us, right? Guys hurt you, girls hurt me, and we're trying to help you guys.
Right.
Down the right path.
Okay, so now let's get into dating. So now they found the person that they're dating. They found someone compatible. Now, how long do you date someone before you take it to that next step? Or how long do you think people should date before they like get engaged or, that kind of thing? Like they say they are on the same page. They aren't compatible and they really love each other. How long would you say, or what you recommend dating before marriage?
Another good question. There's no time. There's no timetable or anything like that. I would just say get to know each other extremely well. Like go on dates, go have maybe vacation together, go out and do things like that.
Vacation before marriage?
That's what we did.
I'm saying now that you know what you know, would you recommend that? No, I wouldn't.
I would. Why not? Yeah, go on vacation. Like, because look, like, what if you guys go on vacation and like she's farting in the room? And you're like, I don't like that. Oh
my gosh, here we go.
I don't like that.
Okay, listen.
Then you'll know not to move on anymore. But
that, first of all, you're not going to. First of all, that's something natural. So if a girl does that, you're not going to date her anymore?
A girl should not do that in the very beginning.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
She should save it for later. And use Poopery. Shout out to Poopery at Costco.
Oh my gosh. Listen.
Okay, no, being real.
No, being real, I honestly, if I could do everything over again, well, that's the thing. Because our story is so unique. If I did everything over, I wouldn't be with you today.
Oh, what the? I was not expecting that. This is probably the last podcast.
That's the truth. Because if I would have done everything right, I would have waited to meet someone in church, right?
Right.
And I would have done, you wouldn't have been there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just being honest. But I'm telling for the people that have the opportunity to do it the right way now, Do I have any regrets? No, absolutely I don't, because God obviously had this already planned for us. And that's another thing. Like, if you are dating someone and you guys are unequally yoked, do you want to explain what that means?
No, you explain because you said it.
So basically, if you're a Christ follower and that person is not, that's considered unequally yoked. You're not together on the same page when it comes to your faith. So that was us in the beginning because I had the foundation and he didn't. And it was very difficult in the beginning because that's where a lot of things went wrong. And if I could do it over again, I wouldn't, because this is what makes us so strong. But I'll tell you, it was a struggle. It was a years of struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't recommend that. I mean, if you're in a relationship and you're trying to change somebody, only God can change that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that person has to be willing to accept Jesus Christ and change. You can't force them. So with that being said, what I'm saying is, if you're looking for somebody, if I was going to give advice to someone that's young and that is a Christ follower and wants to find a husband or someone they want to date, I would absolutely find someone that has the same faith and is Christ follower, because then you guys will have the same values. So that means you're both waiting before marriage. And that's important. It's like you don't want to be
waiting for what, in case people don't know.
Oh, you guys are both waiting to be intimate before marriage, because what basically is going to happen is, if you're with somebody and they don't have the same values as you, and say they're not, there's some, it's very slim. There's some people that are not followers, but they still want to keep that sacred. Very, very rare.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if that's you, then that's a possibility. But keeping that, being with somebody who doesn't have that same value, it's gonna be a constant resistance. You're gonna be saying no, 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 and that person's gonna say like,
and that'll be a problem.
Yes, it's gonna be
a relationship.
Exactly. So you're gonna get that constant pressure because that person's gonna want something and you're not gonna want to give that. So there you go. So that's one thing, right? And then go ahead. What were you gonna say? I could tell you wanted to say something.
I just was gonna sum it up and say, look, we would just do things God's way. That's it. It's that simple. Like there's no perfect way to do it, but that is the most closest to perfect way, in our opinion, is doing it that way. Because any other way, you're just going to wing it and you're just going to be like, what are we doing? You're going to be learning. You're going to be going through a lot of hardships, a lot of difficulties in the relationship, a lot of arguing, a lot of headaches, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of disappointments, a lot of yelling, a lot of stuff, unnecessary stuff. All these things that we had to go through. And we had to learn the hard way during our dating. Like all that time that we spent arguing and yelling at each other, and me sleeping downstairs and we had our 2-story home, and her sleeping upstairs, and her one time throwing her chancla at the wall. Do you remember that? You got so mad. He threw
Do you guys remember those soda shoes that were like this, like tall?
The young people may have to Google soda shoes. But she's how tall are you?
I'm like 5'2.25".
So like she was like Shaq with those soda shoes. Like she was that tall. Like they were really, really big. But she got so mad at me one day that I was like downstairs or going downstairs. She was upstairs and she grabbed her sandal, her soda sandal, and she's like, boom, chucked it at the wall. Still left a dent.
I did.
She tried to hit me. So
I did not try to hit you.
I
was just sending a message
wow.
through my soda shoe.
Disclaimer. Don't date Latinas.
Hey, well, at least we're passionate. All right, let's get back to it.
Yeah, let's get back on track.
So
dating. Let's just finalize it with this. Now, from a girl's perspective, though, like what kind of things are you, like what kind of advice can you give for girls?
Wow. Let's see. I would definitely look to date someone that has values, who has goals. That's another thing. Like goals, same page. You have to be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are going to date someone and they have a completely different path than you, completely different goals, you guys are not gonna. It's not gonna work. You got to be on the same page. So, values, goals. What else? Faith. Faith is huge. You have to be on the same page when it comes to family. There's just so many different things, but
Yeah.
I would make sure that he's got his stuff together and he
Look,
knows where he wants to go. I'll just tell you that. Like, girls don't want a guy that doesn't have it together.
yeah.
That's wishy-washy.
And just some things that came to my mind, like with dating, like in relationships, there has to be communication. That's huge. You have to be able to tell each other in a
Yes.
respectful way what you like, what's going on, or what you don't like,
Yes.
what's going on. So communication, respect is another thing.
Huge.
Don't be
Respect
don't
is
be
huge.
don't be, calling each other names that you're later going to regret.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be, because every time you do something like that and you disrespect one another, it ends up causing a wound.
Yes.
And that wound is going to be very, very hard to repair.
100%.
So that is the second one. Third one, you gotta be faithful, be loyal. Don't be a cheater.
Oh, that's huge.
You don't want to be out there and just cheating on your partner, on your girlfriend, boyfriend. That's dirty, and it's the wrong thing to do morally, ethically. And you got to have loyalty. Like loyalty, like this day and age, I'm noticing like somebody's word doesn't go far, doesn't mean much, and you got to change it and be like, look, like if I say I'm gonna do this for her, I'm gonna do it, no matter what. It's that simple. Like my word goes miles. Like it's worth its weight, big time. Nothing can break it. If I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, what are some other things that come
I
to mind?
do want to talk about something before we wrap up the dating is girls having male friends and guys
Vice
having
versa.
girlfriends
Yeah.
in a relationship. And I'm not talking about you guys just started dating and you're like, cut off your friends. No, I'm talking about serious relationships because there is, well, we'll get into that when we get into
It's
marriage.
a good topic though. Yeah.
But it is good to make sure that you respect each other's feelings, boundaries. And if you are friends with someone that you know has feelings for you, but you're trying to get into a new relationship and a serious relationship, someone you want to spend, you can see yourself spending your life with, then maybe you might want to consider, distancing yourself for a little while from any other things that may cause friction in the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust is
Mhm.
big. So yeah, we covered a lot and we can keep going, but we want to jump into marriage.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's do it. So, I mean, we have a little bit of marriage experience, 16 years together. And just like our vow said, till death do us part, I believe in that. And, I pray. When I pray to God, I pray and I ask Him to continue to bless our marriage, to keep that unity and that union strong. And, He's delivered and He's changed me in many ways, because I used to be a person that my heart was very hard, and had a lot of like anger in me for some reason, and I'd get upset. And I've had my moments where I haven't been perfect. I've done the things that I'm telling you guys not to do, but she's forgiven me, and God's forgiven me first and foremost, and He's changed me, like I said, and now I'm more forgiving even to her. Like if she does things, I'm like, oh, I realize, man, just no one's perfect. Like that's the thing I love about our faith is like I'm realizing that if God forgives us and has an abundant amount of mercy and grace, and not only that, but He gave His one and only Son Jesus Christ to the whole world because He loves us so much, and Jesus paid the price and got crucified on the cross for us because He loved us. It's like, man, I need to like humble myself and have humility and know that nobody's perfect. So I bring that into our marriage, and that's a huge like success topic that I always give credit to. I give glory to God all the time. But
It wasn't always like that though.
no.
So we got to talk about what do we do that we would recommend young people not to do or anyone in their marriage.
What not to do?
What not to do. So, what do we learn from like our past experiences that we don't do now? That is really important. Like you said something. You said,
Yeah, give me an example.
well, you said forgiveness, right? Before you were saved,
Mm-hmm.
you would get very, very upset
Mm-hmm.
and we wouldn't talk for days,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
was one.
Yeah.
Or you weren't very forgiving. You know, you would kind of like drag it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the same. I was very stubborn too.
Yeah.
So we were both very stubborn.
I was worse. And then, yeah. But also, like, one of the things that I love in our marriage, and I've asked her many, many years to do, is like, you have to have affection, right?
Mhm.
That's a very crucial ingredient in a marriage. Like, touch. That's the way God made us. Like,
Mhm.
touch one another. That's why. Do you guys notice? This is kind of cool. Like, if you put up your hand, like, God made us so that we can give me your hand, your other hand.
Oh.
So that way we can just like interlock and do this. Like, that's amazing. So do that with your wife and your husband. Like, be affectionate, touch each other. When you're married, it's a game changer. And if you follow God's principles on how he talks about marriage and other things like closeness, it's like level 10. And that's what I tell the younger people and the younger generation that are dating. It's like, wait to do things like that until it's official and you have God's blessing. So, like, affection is super crucial and important for me. And you got to know people's love languages. Like, hers is not so much affection, but for me, it is, right?
Mhm.
What else?
So let's see.
I would say be thoughtful too for the other person. Like, there's certain things that she knows that I like, like right now I'm this journey of health, and right now I'm eating like a certain way, a very strict way. And she knows, she'll cook for me and I'll cook for myself too, but she'll do like the things that I don't know how to do. And that to me, I love, she'll help me out in that aspect. And I'll do things for her too, vice versa, that she likes. Like, she likes it when I fill up the gas tank in her car. And, she likes it when I take her car to go get a car wash. And, things like that. Like, whatever makes her happy and smile, that's what I want to do and bring to her as well in our marriage. I want to do things to make her happy as well. Because when you guys are not on the same page and you're working basically against, and that's what the devil wants. You guys are working against each other. You're bickering, you're sleeping in separate rooms, you're disrespecting each other, you're talking bad about one another. Maybe you're gossiping to friends or family or coworkers about your spouse.
That's a no-no, by the way.
No, all that stuff is no. Like, let me ask you a question. Let me be very, very serious. Like, you already said I do to this person and you're married to this person. Why are you going to want the rest of your life to be miserable? Like, just make it work. Humble yourself. Like, go, like, humility. Pray, ask God to change your heart as well as your spouse's heart. If you feel, pray for that person, and it can happen. Like, it's just, I don't get it. Like, don't be miserable. It's better to work together as opposed to working apart, because you can get so much further together. Like, I've made mistakes in the past talking about this topic where I wanted to do things on my own. I wanted to go work in my career by myself. I wanted to go to these events by myself. I wanted to do these things by myself and exclude her. Like, you just stay there. I had a different mindset, different mentality back then.
Why did you want to do that, by the way?
I don't know. I just was like, no, I got it. Like, I'm going to handle it. That's it. That's how I felt. So, but it wasn't the right way. I was very closed-minded. And now I'm like, I'm not going anywhere without her. So I haven't changed. I haven't changed. No, like, seriously. Because let me talk about this with men. Okay. There's a lot of temptation out there. Okay. One of the things that men really struggle with is lust, adultery, temptations, all that stuff. Because, like, there's like a lot of beautiful women out there, and especially on social media, and they're just like showing themselves and they're trying to get attention, they're trying to get likes and all that. And if you're a married man, my advice to you is, honestly, like the Bible says, you need to flee from temptation, and you need to unfollow those women. You need to, especially if you don't know them, like, honor your marriage and look at those look at your wife the same way you look at those other women. Like, and vice versa. I know there's some women that have issues with temptations and lust and adultery too, but that's my advice. It's like you got to get rid of all this stuff that's toxic in your marriage and your relationship, and really have that love and that attention for your wife or your husband. And that's it.
Yeah, I want to touch on that because we're not perfect. By all means, we're not perfect. We've made so many mistakes. We've gone through a lot. So there was a rocky time in our marriage where I think we just were not on the same page. It was around the time where you were taking off with your career in the very beginning, and you didn't have the best influences. You know who I'm talking about if you're watching. And I love you still, though, because I forgive you. But during that time, you were very tempted and you had a different mindset.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you, why are you following this chick on Instagram? And you were like, you're just a jealous Latina. Remember? You were like, you thought I was
Nope.
just. You don't remember? How do you not remember this? I remember distinctly. We were in Small Gates, okay? And I saw your phone and I was like, why is he following this girl?
Are you sure that was my account, my phone?
Oh, I'm positive. And you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, I don't understand.
I got hacked for sure.
No, you did not get hacked. You did not get hacked. You were watching all these like bikini models, and
I was going through a rough time in my life. Okay.
Am I allowed to say sucias?
Is anybody thirsty? Because I need water.
Anyways, is that a bad word, by the way?
No.
I don't speak Spanish.
No, but
I
go
speak
ahead.
Spanglish.
Continue.
So I was just kind of like, to me as a woman, I felt like he was cheating on me with his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, that is true.
But that was a tough time in our marriage because
Okay,
I wasn't.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that is cheating. Cheating with your eyes and lusting is cheating.
If you're going by the biblical,
by the biblical
definition.
Okay,
Yes.
Go ahead. You're going through a rough time. Go ahead. I want to hear this.
Well, look, because there's women, and I'm not making this okay for men or women, but in a marriage, I see, because I'm gonna back up my boys here. When you're married, okay, and your wife is not like, making you happy, she's just being a nagging wife, or she's always fighting, or like you come home from a hard day's work and there's like no meals cooked for you, or stuff like that. And
Does Top Ramen count?
Irritable things. No, Top Ramen doesn't count.
I'm kidding.
Like come on, like come through for your husband, and vice versa.
We're gonna get into this.
I'm not shading the girls.
No, that's fine. Go ahead, because I will say where I was wrong and where women go wrong. So go ahead and say.
So look, if here's where I went wrong, okay? The devil had his foot in the door and he was like, your wife isn't doing this, your wife isn't doing this and this and this. And I'm like, you know what? She isn't. So I was getting attention from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this feels really good.
Yeah.
And, like I was mad, and she would carry this is why you should not, man, the Bible makes so much sense.
Much sense.
This is why you should not go to bed upset at one another, because the following day it carries on. And then that person that you shouldn't be talking to, that's giving you the attention, it worsens, it progresses. Excuse me. And that just could destroy your whole marriage.
Yep.
So learn from our mistakes. Thank God, like we've changed, and but you had a similar situation too.
Yes. So I had a similar situation during that same time, which was when you were being tempted. I was being tempted, and not the same sense. Well, let's back up. So it wasn't just the Instagram. It was someone actually reaching out to you, which is completely different than just looking. So there are those temptations, and I'm not going to say you will, but you definitely can come across these same situation that happened to us. So the situation was someone had reached out to you and literally sent you a message and tried to like meet up with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in my situation, it was someone that I knew, and I just was kind of oblivious to it until I realized, like, whoa, like this person really wants something more. And I was like, I'm out of here. Like, it just like kind of freaked me out. But so we both had that situation. However, it kind of brought us back after we went through that to say, hey, what am I doing or not doing for you that is making you even entertaining that,
Mhm.
or even making you like, you know what I mean? Like even making you feel good. What am I not doing or what am I doing? So
Mhm. Mhm.
that actually, again, back to communication. What do we do? We talked about it. We let it all out and said, hey, this is how I feel, or this is what I need from you.
Yeah.
And once you communicate that, then you're going to say, wow, okay, I'm going to work on this. I love you and I only want to be with you. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to work on this so that we can be stronger together, and that we can, it won't even, nothing can break us because we're so on the same page together.
Yeah, but I also want to like give advice to the men, because there's a lot of men that are tiptoeing around their wives. They don't want to get into that big argument,
Right.
and you just got to go up to your wife like I did with her. And I'm like, I told her straight up at that time, you remember, I'm like, hey, there's another woman that is interested in me and that is giving me everything that you're not giving me. Do you remember that? I straight up said it because I was like, look, if this is going to be an
Giving
argument,
you everything that you're not giving
yeah,
me.
attention, she's
Yeah,
being
not
nice.
everything though.
That's
Sorry.
not what I meant.
I'm
Like, not
sorry.
everything. Okay,
No
clear it up.
woman can do everything that I've done for you.
Chill. Listen,
Or-
I'm telling my guys right here, that's what you got to do. You got to have that awkward.
I'm every woman.
And how do I mute your end? you gotta tell her everything, like, because that's what it took. I'm like, you know what? She's still gonna listen and she's gonna change with me telling her how extreme this problem is.
Yes.
And that's what you got to do. And yeah, it's gonna cause a huge argument. I hope not. I pray it doesn't. But for us, it did. She's like, "What do you mean another woman's giving you this? You're talking to another woman?" It's like it got ugly, but it had to go down, and it had to get uglier before it got better.
True.
Right?
True. So that was one situation, and I'm gonna briefly talk about another situation. And this is a situation that I saw going with somebody else, but I realized. So sometimes, if you're smart, you'll learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah, that's our goal here with our podcast.
Exactly.
Learn from our mistakes.
Learn from our mistakes, and we've seen things happen where like, whoa, like we knew that was not the right thing. So what I will say is, if you're in a marriage and it's rocky and you're just kind of like in the same situation, like my husband's not giving me attention, we're not on the same page, we're arguing all the time, and vice versa, I would say, obviously that's the enemy. He wants to break a marriage up.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to communicate and you need to talk to each other, and you need to be there for your husband. You made a vow, and for wives too, but I know I'm speaking just for the women, because as women, I think sometimes we get really comfortable and we're just like, oh, we're married now. We don't necessarily have to like get ready. And I'm not being vain. I'm just saying taking care of yourself so that you
being sexy for your husband.
Yeah, I mean, just like simple things, right? And I'm not talking about getting all glammed up and you got to have, no. I'm just saying, just like you have that attraction, that you guys are both attracted to each other. So do those little things. It doesn't have to be every single day. I'm just saying do those little things.
That's
because
really
they go a
good.
long way.
Yeah. Like I want to touch on that. Like my wife, I know when she gets like ready, like she says, dolled up and everything, she's doing it for the podcast viewers. I'm just kidding. She does it for me.
I do.
And I know it. And I know it. Like I know she's not trying to go out there and get attention or do anything like that. Right now I'm going through transformation with my health physically, like exterior. And I'm doing it for her and myself. Like I'm not trying to get any other attention from any other girl. I'm happily married and I'm here to like have her be happy for what I'm going through and changing to be better. So you got to like, and that leads me to like girls that are married. If you're married, you should not be on social media showing other people or men your stuff. Like, come on, be classy, be very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Conservative?
Conservative. Thank you. Be very conservative because you're opening up that door for another man to just hit that like button or it starts small. They like it And then next thing you know, it turns into a comment, wow. And then you'd like it because you're not getting it from your husband.
Right.
And then private message comes in, hey, I'm in town. Hey, let's go meet up. And
Yes.
you do not want that.
Yes, I agree.
Nothing is ever worth destroying
Mm-hmm.
your marriage, especially your family,
Yes.
over some other thing that you think is the grass is greener on the other side.
It's
like,
not.
no, absolutely not.
It's not.
And imagine all the like the what's the word I'm looking for?
Like starting over, or
Yeah, like starting over, but all the trauma that you're gonna bring to your kids and your
yeah.
family and other people that are
not worth
involved.
it.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it,
No,
no.
it's not worth it. So that's where I was gonna go. And the same thing with men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like don't be putting yourself on social media if you're a married man, like all thirsty and stuff like that. Hey, and wear your dang wedding ring. Like this is something I have a pet peeve with men. It's like you go out, you're going places, you have no wedding ring. Come on, bro. Like, why don't you wear a wedding ring? Doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Some of you are going to be like, oh, women don't care if you're married. It's more attractive to them. I've heard that stupid line before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it. I believe if you wear your wedding ring, you're basically sending the signal message that, hey, I'm married. That's it. I'm not on the market. I'm not single. None of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Like, it's just some simple 101 things that like you guys got to pick up.
And getting back to what I was saying about keeping the marriage like tight is women, like I said, doing these things for your husband, and then communication, and then making sure that you guys are both meeting each other's needs is huge.
Yeah.
Because once you guys stop having that intimacy,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are distancing yourself. You guys are married. You guys are supposed to have that intimacy.
That's important.
And if you just kind of get comfortable in that and say, oh, like it's not a priority.
Mm-hmm.
It is a priority. Your marriage is a priority. You made
Yeah.
a vow.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that you need to make sure that you're taking, both of you are communicating and you're taking care of, that,
Each other.
yeah, taking care of each other, because that's another way that the enemy will try to come in and either tempt your husband or, where you get really complacent and you just kind of feel like, oh, it just almost becomes like you're just friends. Like you lose that connection.
Let me ask you a question. And this is going to be the next point of me talking about marriage.
Sure.
You don't mind like if I go places by myself, right? Like you trust me.
Right.
Okay. However, I won't do it. Like if I go to out of state or if I go to a work convention or whatever, I no longer will go by myself. Why? Because I don't need to give any kind of inch to the devil in tempting me in any way in my marriage. I protect, and my marriage is so sacred to me and meaningful because God ordained everything and put everything together for me, that I don't even want to it's not even about trust or she won't let me. No, she'll let me. I'll let her too. I trust her, but we do everything together now, everything. And I just don't want to give any kind of slight chance, a 0.00001% chance of something happening. And we enjoy each other's company. Like I love bringing her around, vice versa, and introducing people to her. Like, nope, right now we're like doing power moves, power couple moves. And I want everybody to know, like, Mike is just not Mike. Mike is with Camille, like we're a package deal. We're together. And we've cut out alcohol. And alcohol, I'm telling you, it brought a lot of ugly moments in us. Huh?
Yes, it did.
A lot of ugly moments in us, a lot of nasty arguments, a lot of horrible memories.
Yep.
And alcohol magnifies evil things and temptations. So like you just do your best to try to get rid of it and cut it out. We're going, I'm a little over 3 months of not drinking, and you are like more than me.
Almost 4 months.
Yeah. But we don't ever plan on returning. And we're not shaming anybody. Like if you
No.
feel like you can control it, like we thought we can control it, that's fine. That's your life. I pray that one day you'll be convicted like I was and you're like, hey, no more. Like I can't think of one benefit that alcohol brings to my life. It's just all temporary, especially the older I get. Like it's just, there's no benefits to it. I don't like waking up hungover. I don't like having temptations when it comes to food and eating things I shouldn't be and being overweight. And there's a song, there's a Christian hip hop song. I don't know exactly the lyrics, but it hit me. Like it says something like when someone drinks, like every time he drinks, he goes on the timeline, and why are all these women, on his timeline on social media? It's like true. It's like
Mm-hmm.
when you have alcohol in your system as a man, it magnifies that feeling of like you're conscious and your thinking good goes out the window. You're like, oh, this is fine. Like now you all of a sudden you got courage. So
Right.
dump it, dump it. It's not good for you.
I agree.
I'm just going hard today. I don't care.
I agree. And another thing I want to say is like we're best friends. He's my best friend. I feel like what you said earlier is I'm the female version of you, you're the male version of me. So
Yeah.
we are just we just love each other's company.
Mm-hmm.
We love being together.
Like
We
we
laugh.
get on each other's nerves. We're not perfect,
We do, mostly during the week when we're working
We'll
together.
have our little mini arguments here and there, but we'll make up, and we're making up sooner than later.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is something that we don't want to do is keep lingering these, arguments or
Mhm.
disagreements. We don't want them to keep lingering. We just want to
And they're not good for the kids to see.
know.
That's another thing.
In
like,
fact, the kids are like, think it's ridiculous. Let's be honest.
hey, and speaking of that, with kids, like, be affectionate in front of your kids, because your kids are seeing everything.
I
And
agree.
you want them to be
Healthy, have healthy relationships in the future, but also see that mom and dad love each other
Mhm.
and that
and that it's okay to be affectionate.
exactly.
Because you don't want them. You got to break these generational curses.
Yes.
Things that we weren't taught, like like in this topic, like how to be engaged in a marriage and do things the best way. Like, you want to teach your kids in the next generation to make things a lot better and easier for them.
I agree. I think it's funny because I tell the kids, I'll tell you, you look hot. And they were like, they make these faces. And I'm like, I don't care. Your dad's hot.
Yeah.
So what else would you say when it comes to marriage?
I would say, be careful who you invite in your marriage too. Like,
that's a
this is
good
something
one.
my dad would always tell me. Dad,
Yes.
if you're watching, shout out to my pops. Love you. But he would always say, like, he's old school traditional Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the only man that should be in your household is you. And that's
Mhm.
it. And it's true. Like, I don't want to, first of all, I have my wife, I have my 2 daughters. Like, I'm not going to just be inviting random men in here
Right.
to see what I have, like,
Mhm.
and I'm not talking about my materialistic stuff in the home. I'm talking about my prized, family. So that's something I would give advice to, is like, if you want to go meet with other people or whatever, do it outside your home. Be cautious with who you bring in. Obviously, as well, like in your relationship, like if you guys have friends, like, cut out the toxic people. There's some people that are haters, they're jealous or envious. They don't want to see you guys happy. As opposed to, if those people were smart, they'd be like, hey, Mike and Camille, how are you guys doing it? Because we're having issues.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the 3 couples that we met with at church,
Yes.
who reached out to us, who have the discernment and wisdom to reach out to people that have been married and are finding success in marriage. They contacted us and they're like, hey, can we meet with you? We're dating. We would love to get some advice. So that was incredible.
Yes, I agree 100%. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. So God bless you guys. We love you guys, and
we'll be praying for you.
we will. So yeah, that's something that came to my mind, and trying to think of what else. Another thing that comes to my heart is, like, don't take each other for granted,
Mhm.
because today could be my last day, God willing. I operate on God's time, but like, same for her. I don't know when her last day is going to be, and I don't want to have any regrets. I don't want to, when the time is, when we're having that moment, when one another passes, I don't want to be like, I should have done this, I should have been nicer, I wish I would have vacationed with her more, I wish I would have spent more time with her. Do it now. Every day is a gift. That's why they call it present. Did you guys know that? So take advantage of it. God's blessing you with the air in your lungs, and use it to the best of its ability, and just be kind and loving and forgiving, and be in the moment with your spouse. That's what I wanted to say.
That was great.
Thank you.
Love that.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for me. Nothing else comes to mind that I can think about. But if you guys want us to touch on something we didn't, comment, let us know what you guys want to hear, and we will definitely put it out.
Yeah, absolutely. This was great. If you guys made it this far, Thank you guys. And we love you guys. Again, be sure to like this video, comment down below, like my wife mentioned, subscribe if you haven't, and hit the notification bell so that way you can be notified on the next upload, the next video, the next topic we're going to touch on. We're good? We're good?
We're good.
Woo, let's roll.
Bye, guys.
God bless you guys. Here we go.
I thought it was over, God had other plans. I thought it was over, God had other plans. I thought it was over, God had other plans. Took my life, laid it down, placed it in his hands. I'm free.